For first home buyers who are saving for their first deposit, do you have this problem? For many months, you've been doing a great job at saving money for your first home deposit, and then suddenly a little voice creeps in your head and says to you, maybe I'll just like to splurge a little bit here and a little bit there. And then your saving goals go out the window. And before you realize it, your savings plan is all screwed up and you just don't know why. Now, I've been a broker for over 10 years and I've spoken to thousands of first home buyers. And this is my personal theory on why first home buyers self-sabotage their savings goals. I'll give you a real example, I'll show you the figures, and then I'll show you the reasons why you self-sabotage your saving goals, and a solution on how you can restore balance and get your savings goals back on track. Now let's introduce John. He's single, he's on $90,000 per annum, and he has HECS debts. His after-tax income is $5,706 per month. His living expenses is $2,000 per month. Now technically, if he's frugal with his spending, he should be able to save $3,706 per month. Now let's say John spoke to a bank about maybe 11 months ago. Now I'm not going to say John saw me, the broker, because obviously I'm plugging my services. The banker said, hey mate, with your income and your monthly living expenses, plus you've got a sad student loan, you can only afford bada bing bada boom $400,000 home loan. So then the banker, if they're doing their job, probably will say, well, you can buy something for $420. That's borrowing to the mountain of 95%, where the total loan amount is around $400,000. And John only needs $32,000 to get this $420,000 property. Remember we said he can save 3.7K per month? That will take him about 9 months in total to get $32,000. Roughly. Now, I've actually completed a course in NLP, which stands for Neuro-Linguistic Programming, which is about, mindset, pseudoscience thing, but this is my findings. I've drew a graph just to give you the premise of what I'm going to talk about. So here's an overview. So from my experience, when a first home buyer starts to initiate seeing a banker or a broker, they're simply very gung-ho. They're like, enough is enough. I'm not going to rent anymore. I'm not going to pay someone else's mortgage. I'm going to start saving for my first home. And this phase I call the angel phase. On the flipper side of that is the demon phase, and the solution is the middle way. The characteristics of an angel phase for a first home buyer is that, everything has to be perfect in terms of, the goal execution has to be perfect. The saving plan is very rigid, which means you have to save that much money in 9 months. There's practically no room for error in terms of maybe, splurging here and there. Now, if the saving plan was 9 months to get the goal of $32,000, the first 3/4 of the way, which is around 6 months, if it's 9 months, you'll be experiencing the angel phase, which means everything is according to savings plan. You're saving every month, you're hitting your goals, but then 3/4 of the way, when you're around maybe $24,000, it starts to take a dip. Before I go into the demon side, which is the 3/4 way, you start to self-sabotage and really kill your savings plans. Let me give you a few reasons how you as the angel first home buyer keeps up the saving plans before it all goes to ruins. Because I'm metaphorically using an angel to describe you, and because you guys have wings, we have upwinds and downwinds. So the upwinds will keep you guys on the saving plan. The downwinds is what blows you guys down to hell. So one of the upwinds that keep you guys on your savings plans as angel first home buyers is that the motivation that pulls you up is that you actually genuinely enjoy saving money. You actually, like myself, enjoy being frugal. There's actually a sense of accomplishment in saving that set amount every month until you hit that 9th month of getting $32,000 in your bank account. And part of that dopamine hit that NLP talks about and, Tony Robbins talk about is a sense of significance. I can't wait until I can save this money so that I could prove to myself that I can actually buy a unit all by myself. And when that happens, I'm going to feel so proud about myself. There's a sense of internal significance. But 98% of angel first home buyers get hit by the downwinds. That is, the motivation in terms of saving money is because, if I don't save money, then, I probably won't be able to get into the property market. The property market is so expensive. It's all motivated by fear. Like, oh my God, I'm already fill in the blank age gap and I'm getting old already and I'm going to have nothing to show for it by the time I'm X, Y, and Z. And in terms of significance, it becomes an external significance. I'm only buying this property to prove to others that I'm worthy. I'll show my parents, I'll show my colleagues, I'll show my ex. You're buying a property to seek approval from others to gain significance from an external source instead of yourself. Now, 3/4 of the way through this savings plan, say 6 months, and you already saved $24,000, this rigid perfectionist angel that you are You'll suppress the dark side of yourself, the demon side. The fun, creative, and the born to be wild type of person you are. Now, I refer to that as a demon side, but I'm not saying you're a demon. It's basically just the human side of us. And the perfectionist characteristic of the angel is like choking this other side of us. So 3/4 of the way through it, we start to splurge. We start to spend money, impulse buy, and we get bored and we start buying random stuff. Because the angel side of us has pushed us to our dark side, the demon side. And this guy starts to self-sabotage. Once your initial saving dwindles down to $15,000 less, you enter this phase called guilt. You start punishing yourself. You start getting cold feet. Now, this is not a bad thing. It's just the demon side of you, or the dark side of you, is trying to restore balance back to here. And the solution to this is to achieve a middle way. Instead of saving $32,000 in 9 months, try $32,000 in 18 months and half that saving for splurging, fun and creativity. Rather than being an angel and being so perfect about your savings plan, rather than just having one single bank account for just savings, learn from the mistake of John, where you try to avoid guilt and then, this repeated circle of self-sabotage. Adopt the middle way. And rather than having one savings account, have a second savings account called free spending. And in that way, you can control your splurges. Otherwise, if you're just being so perfect with your savings plan, 3/4 of the way through it, you're going to sabotage it because you just can't handle that pressure to being perfect. Again, guys, it goes back to your own motivation of why you want to buy your first home. Are you buying your first home to gain significance for yourself, for your own self-accomplishment? Or you're trying to prove yourself to others so that you're trying to seek others' approval and getting significance from others? If you're doing it for the latter, you're going to 100% self-sabotage your savings plans. I know this video is a bit long, but hopefully that helps you, and leave me your comments what you think about it, and I would love to answer them.